everyone, welcome back to the Instrument for Fun podcast. I'm Kirsten, also known as the Instrument for Fun on Ravelry, and today is April 14th, 2013, and today I also have a special guest with me. It's not a human being, it is a furry friend. As you all may know, I have a dog named Midnight, and he is going to be my special guest today. And I'll just tilt down the camera just for a second so you can see what he looks like. Say hi! Say hi to the camera! So this is Midnight, my big furry dog who I tell stories about every week. And so this is what he looks like, and he's of course licking my pants, like always. But this is his favorite toy too, so. Yeah, this is Midnight, and he is a very black dog, and you cannot see him barely because his fur is so dark, but I hope he can behave for this episode. He can stay in here and chew on his toy and not really, eat any of my wool or whatever. So, let's get to the show. So, and if he's just going to be able, he's just going to stand up and do all that type of crazy stuff, and I hope he doesn't get too wild. So, I hope he can just behave and sit here for this episode and just chew on his toy. So, yep. So, you want to smile? Come on, smile. No, okay. Okay, so let's start off with thank yous for this week. So the first thank you I have, this is kind of, I might put him away because he's just wanting to lick everything lately. But first thank you I have is a thank you to Sock Bunny Knits on Ravelry. Sock Bunny has a podcast. This is so funny. She has a podcast on Ravelry called Sock Bunny Knits. Okay, I have to go and put him away because I cannot do this. I'm back. So, I was talking about the thank yous, but Midnight, he was just, getting too wild and just wanted to, not really wild, he's just wanting to lick my clothing, which is not nice. So, I put him back and now I can actually record properly. So, like I was saying, I have one thank you for this week, and the thank you is to Sock Bunny Knits, and Sock Bunny Knits has a podcast as well. On Ravelry, you can go and check her out if you haven't already. And her podcast is Sock Bunny Knits, which is obvious. And she gifted me her pattern. I guess it's her first pattern, And it is the Bee Leaf Half Pie Shawl by her. Paid pattern on Ravelry, but she gifted it to me, so that was pretty nice. So that's what it looks like. It's a very nice shawl. It's a half pie shawl. And it's definitely a summer shawl. It looks like, what does it take? Yeah, it takes lace weight, so it's definitely going to be a summer shawl that you can go and wear out in the air conditioning and stuff like that. So that's for the thank you for this week. So I just want to say thank you to her. Now on to works in progress for this week. Now, I finished something, and I finished it last night, and I really haven't gotten to casting on something new, but I do know what I want to cast on after I record. And that is the Boo Crew, like the little stuffed animals. And this one was gifted to me as well back in October, I think it was. This Boo Crew doll by Susan Claudio, something like that. And I want to knit the Candy Cornelius. And now I think this is a funny name. I love that name, Cornelius. So I'm going to knit little Candy Cornelius there. And I picked out the yarn. Now I don't have the exact same colors. I got pretty close to it. I don't really have a lot of oranges in my yarn, so I'm just going to get as close to the colors as possible. So first I got the white. Now they chose like a very light white. Now I just chose a off-white, and this is Lime Brown Wool Ease, and I think the Fisherman White colorway. I use this for my Spud and Chloe sheep stuffed animal as well. So that's the first one. Second one is all tangled up, but I can still knit out of it. As you can see, there's an end right there. I just knit out of tangles sometimes, but this is the Lime Brown Wool Ease and mustard colorway, and that's going to be for the bottom, like where the face is going to be at. Now they chose like yellow, but I don't have really anything that's yellow either. So I'm not really a big yellow or orange fan. That's why I don't really have too many of those. And then for the main part, like I'm just kind of looking at the pattern, but I probably can't see. But for the main part, for the dark and orange, I'm going to use my Knit Picks Comfy Worsted in October colorway. Now I think this is a discontinued colorway, I'm not sure about that. But I got this like around maybe 2.5, almost 3 years ago, and it's just been sitting around, and I only got one skein of it, so I hope I can get the body, like half the body done with this. So, and that's again in the October colorway. So I'm going to be using a size US 6 4.0mm on that. So I'm going to cast that on as soon as I stop recording, edit, export it, and then finally publish it. So I'm going to knit while I'm doing that. So that's only it for FOs for this, not FOs, for works in progress. Now on to FOs. Now, I showed you guys, well, I just want to point out there, I didn't record last week because I recorded a whole entire episode, and then I went into my Mac, I edited out the mistakes or whatever, putting the captions through iMovie, and then I went up to the share button and I clicked export, and it says it's going to take around 2 hours to export. Now that's usually basically the amount of time it usually takes to export a movie. So I'm like, well, okay, so around the first hour when it was done, it stopped exporting. I mean, it just completely stopped. It says you don't have enough desktop space on your computer to finish exporting. Because I had all of my tutorials, all of my episodes on my desktop, and it usually takes up space. So I was like, okay, fine, it's not going to be an episode, no one's really going to care, so I'm just going to not record, or not like publish anything for that week. So you haven't seen my sweater that I was been knitting on for the past couple weeks, and it's finally done. Last night, well, the last time you saw it, I was just right after the armholes, working on the body. I finished the body. No, actually, no. I was almost done with the body, yeah. I was almost done with the body last time you seen it, and so I finished the body. I finished 2 sleeves, and now I just need to go button shopping, and I need to block it, and I just need to weave in my ends, and I'll be done with it completely. And I am absolutely in love with this sweater. It is so nice. It's definitely going to be a sweater, and we're definitely going to be wearing it in the winter because it is very warm. Now I did have 7 skeins of this yarn. Not really 7 skeins, like maybe around 7 or 8 skeins. I'm not really sure about that, but I have 2.5 balls left. So I have 2 right here and then a half of 1 right here. So I did pretty good. I think I can get maybe a baby sweater out of this, or I can just give it to someone if I can't find a project with. So I'm very excited I got the sweater out of that many skeins of yarn. So I knit this, well, first I can tell you what the sweater is called. The sweater is the Buttony Sweater by Katie Marcus. That's what it looks like. It's a very nice sweater. It's a pretty pattern Ravelry. Now, one thing I have to say about this pattern is for the neckline. Now, the neckline is supposed to swoop down like where your shoulders are right here, but I did not, my gauge did not want to do that. So my sweater is a little bit up higher, like for the collars, and I actually like that better because it actually fits a little bit more. So that's the only thing that looks different. So I'll try on the sweater for you in a second, but this is what it looks like. It's the Buttony Sweater by Katie Marcus, free pattern on Ravelry. So it's a very wonderful pattern. Nothing bad to say about it. Again, size US 8 5.0, Knit Picks City Tweed in the Orca colorway. Now you're probably looking at it and say, wow, it's really uneven. Well, it's because it like folds over and it buttons down on one side. So I'm going to try it on for you guys. As you can see here, it's a very wonderful sweater. Now I did make it like a little bit shorter length sleeves because I like it like that. So when I'm wearing it, my sleeves don't get dunked into food or dunked into dog doo-doo or anything. So, and I do have 12 buttonholes. Now I think it called for 10 buttonholes, but I made 2 extra ones because I did a little bit more shorter rows than it said to. So this is what it looks like. I am very happy, and when it's done, it's going to button down on this side, and it's going to have like a rosy, not really rosy, it's going to have a woody color. Is that such a word? Woody? I don't know, but it's going to have a wood color button, because as you can see it has tweed in it, and the tweed is a little flex, and so I'm very happy with this. I think it's a very nice sweater, and it is very warm. I'm telling you, it's like just wearing it right now, it's pretty warm. So I'm very happy. This is actually one of my very first knitted garments that actually fits me, actually looks nice, and it's a very nice sweater. Now you're probably thinking, well, it's kind of baggy sleeves. Well, I made the sleeves a little bit more baggier than the pattern calls for because, again, I wanted this to be a jacket, not really a sweater. So that's why I made it a little bit more of a baggier sleeve. So I really like it, and I hope you guys go and knit it as well because, again, super easy, quick knit. It only took around 3 weeks to knit. And so yeah, so I'm very, very excited because last night I was on I think it was this sleeve, yeah. I was knitting this sleeve, and on your angles, like when you're viewing it right now, it's your right. That's actually my left because my camera is backwards. But I was knitting on the left sleeve last night, and I was about, probably say up to here, like when I was starting to knit on it. Because I haven't knitted on the sweater in probably a day or two because I was busy with other stuff. But I was thinking to myself, well, this sweater is kind of on my nerves because I was knitting on it, and knitting on it, and knitting on it. And I was thinking to myself, oh, let's just get it done tonight. So that was like around 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I finished the sweater around 10:30, almost 11 o'clock. Yeah, I know, pretty late, but I'm usually a late bird. I usually sit until like midnight some nights. I don't know, I always have to go to bed late for some reason, but yeah, so I got the sleeve done, and I'm very excited I got it done last night. The only thing I need to do is go button shopping, see what buttons I can purchase, and also I need to block it, and also I need to weave in my millions of ends. So very happy sweater. I'm very happy with it. I'm definitely going to put this in my display in July. My display in July, again, it starts July 1st and ends July 31st, I think it is. Are there 31 days in July? I don't know. I always sing that song in my head, like 30 days, half September, April, June, and November. I always sing that in my head because I always forget how many days are in each month. I know I should know that by now, by the age I am right now, but it's just like I always forget that. So that's the finished object for this week. It's not really a finished object, but at least, like for me, if it's a finished object, all the knitting is done, and all the knitting is basically all done. So I'm very happy with it, and again, Going Into Button You Swear by Katie Marcus, an excellent, excellent pattern. So that's it for FOs for this week. Now let's see what else I can talk about. Okay, now on to spinning. Now last time you saw an episode from me, I was spinning the Louette Northern Lights fiber from the Fiber Garden, and I was spinning the caramel apple colorway. So I told you guys I wanted to make it into a heavy worsted weight yarn, and that's what it came out to be. So I sat down one day, I finished spinning up the fiber, I applied it, and then the next day, because it was late at night again, the next morning I got up and I washed it and I whacked it and I hung it up to dry, and this is what it looks like. I got 146 yards of a heavy worsted weight. So let me show you a strand here. So 146 yards of a heavy worsted weight, and it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I was recording, and all of a sudden my camera completely stopped on me, so now I'm just going back for spinning it. So I hope I can edit all these different clips out, and so yeah, I'm sorry about that, but let's get back to what I was talking about. So I said that I finished spinning up the Louette Northern Lights fiber by the Fiber Garden Company, and I got 146 yards out of it, and I'm actually very pleased on how this yarn came out. This yarn is kind of a scratchier wool. It is 100% wool. It's no superwash, no types of fancy fiber in it. It's just plain old regular wool, And I actually was kind of surprised at how soft it came out, because when I was spinning it, it was kind of a little bit of a rougher texture to it, but I'm actually very excited. So I got 146 yards, like I said again. Well, like I said before. And it's a very nice heavy worsted weight, or yes, this is basically a worsted weight yarn. So this is definitely going to become a monster soon. I am going to save some of my yarns for my display again, like I'm saying every week, because for my display, the cabinet, like I said 1,000 times, it is really a really big cabinet. So it's like it's very long, and it has like 3 big, humongous, long shelves on it. So I'm definitely going to put some of my spun yarns in there so people can see. So this is going to be saved until August, because I just wanted to share this one with everyone at display. So this is definitely going to become a monster later on in the year, so after the display is over with. So that's what I spun up, like I told you guys. And next fiber that I'm actually going to spin, just let me put this in its little sack here. The next fiber that I want to spin is well, it doesn't really have a name here. Well, yeah, it does. It's the Sunset Cloud. It's woolen silk, and it's 4 ounces. I don't know if the Sunset Cloud is a fiber company, but it's just some bats that Judy gave to me, the person who gave me all the wonderful fiber and yarns back in January. And I just want to spin these bats any way they want to become, like any way they want to spin. If they want to spin to a worsted weight, they can be that. If they want to spin to a lace weight, they can be that. But I just want to practice spinning bats, because I never really spun a bat before. I did make my own bats. This is from the Old Sheep Studio, so that's the fiber company name. But anywho, I was spinning, I want to spin bats because I never really spun a bat before. I only spun maybe a little bat that I made myself off of drum carders after like little hand carders before, but that's about it. But I really want to spin this bat, and this is in the Sunset Cloud colorway, and it is 4 ounces. I have 2 of these big bats here, and they're probably around 2 ounces each, and it has silk in it, which is actually very soft. So it's just like this cloudy bluish white at the top and a pink at the bottom. That's on the back side. And on the front, it has all the different variations of pinks and whites and some of the blues. So that's what I want to spin next. I think it's a lovely bat. The fibers are very carded very well. I'm actually kind of picky about that. I never spun a bat before, but when I see a bat that someone made, or even I made, and the fibers aren't actually perfect, I'm kind of like standoffish about that, because I want to make sure that the fiber is nicely combed. It's just like when you have hair, for instance. If your hair is knotted and it doesn't look right, you want to make it look nice so people don't really stare at you. So that's why my hair is in a ponytail today, because my hair doesn't want to cooperate. So that's it for spinning for this week. And again, that's on the Fiber Studio for these bats, if you want to go and purchase some of your very own. Now, let's see. On to what's next. Now, I told you guys for what's next, I think a couple weeks ago or last week. I'm not really sure. But I made up a list of what I want to do before July rolls around. And that is going to be, I'll just read off to you again, it's the Boo Crew Doll, the Earthen by Alice Plumer, the Feckle Tone by Susan Moskwa. Really weird last names, at least. No offense, but they're just kind of weird last names. But anywho, I want to do the Elephant by Susan B. Anderson, Wrap Me Up Puppies by Susan B. Anderson, and the Rainbow Marley Hat by Susan B. Anderson. Those are all free patterns. And then for paid patterns, I'm going to do the Daybreak by Stephen West and the Confetti the Zombie Cat by Amy Splinter, the Socket Zombies podcast. So I want to do all those patterns before July rolls around. I know I can do it because basically all the free patterns I can get done in a week. I basically can. I can get the Boo Crew Doll done in a week, the Earthen in a week, or maybe in 3 days, but knit on it constantly. The Feckle Tone, I think that's Fingerless Mitts. I can get those done probably in 2 weeks. The Elephant by Susan B. Anderson, maybe in a week. Rat Mia puppies maybe in a week, and a Rainbow Marley cat in a week. So I can get enough done a week if I just really work on it. I know I can get a lot of it done. So I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope I can get one of these things done every week, because I need to get these stuff done for my display, because I really want to show, like, they're very cute, they're very simple, but they're also very like, wow, you can actually make that. So I want to show people like I am a young person, and a lot of people don't believe me that I know how to sew, know how to knit, and know how to make my own yarn. So I want to show them that I really know how to do all this stuff. So I just want to put out there simple projects too, but also very complicated projects, so they can see two different sides of me. So that's the stuff that I want to get done before July. Now on to sewing. I think I showed you guys last episode the flannel for my rag quilt. Now I cut up the flannel into 8x8 squares. I sewed it all together. I did not wash it yet, but I did all the sewing done one day. Like, these things I can whip out in an afternoon. And so I actually made the quilt, a little baby quilt. So this is also going to go in my display as well. And the only thing I need to do is wash it in the washing machine, because as you can see, I cut all the little seams into little half an inch squares. So when you throw this in the washing machine, all those little fray things can go and fray and be all nice and soft and fuzzy. So it's all going to be soft and fuzzy on one side, and on the other side is going to be all flat and smooth. So I really like this quilt. I make one of these, I don't know, 2 or 3 of these a year, because they're very easy, very inexpensive to do. It only took me like $11 to make this. So, and you're probably saying, wow, $11 is pretty cheap for flannel. Yes, it is, because I get my flannel and all of my fabrics at Walmart and Henderson. If you live in Vegas, there's a Walmart in Henderson that I go to, and that's where I get all of my fabric at, because they have reasonable prices. They're cheap. You can get a lot of stuff there for, I can get tons of fabric for $100 if I wanted to. So that's where I get my fabric at, if you are wondering. But I also go to Joann's too, but sometimes for decor fabric, like if I'm making a formal dress, that's where I usually go, or if I'm making a really nice quilt, that's where I usually go, or I go there maybe for some sewing supplies that I need. So really important sewing supplies. So that's what I did. That's a little FO for sewing. What's next for sewing? I am going to fix my grandmother's shirt. She got a shirt from the library. She works at the library, so she got a shirt there, and it's way too huge for her. It's actually a men's extra large, and she didn't know that the lady ordered her a men's shirt, so I'm going to go and fix it and make it a smaller size for her. So I'm going to do that today, because I need to get my button gear and make that, because, well, not really make it, fix it, because she needs it right away. So that is for sewing for this week. Also for sewing, I want to say that I am going to start designing again, starting, I don't know, pretty soon. I want to start designing a dress again, because as you already know, I love sewing formal gowns. So I'm definitely going to start sewing some more gowns soon. So that's my next project in mind for designing, is start making another gown. Now the dress that I did make, I don't know, I think I finished it back in January or December. But that dress, I love that dress to pieces, but I do want to make another dress, and definitely in a more, I don't know, brighter color. That color is more of a champagne, peachy color, so I definitely want to make one in a more of a, let's say for instance, what my shirt I'm wearing today, this shirt color, more of a turquoisey, blackish color. So, and by the way, black is also one of my favorite colors, if you're wondering. Not really my favorite color, it's kind of a depressing color, but I like wearing black, because I don't know why, I think I look good in it. But anyways, that's until another subject there, but let's get on to Midnight Stories for this week. So, as if you watched the beginning of the episode, you see that I introduced all of you guys to Midnight, my dog. I just want to tell you another little story about him. So, like every week I tell you guys a little story about him, but anywho, for this story for this week about Midnight, so I was walking with him like I do basically every day, because where I live, we don't have a mailbox like right in front of our house. We have to go and walk up to the clubhouse because the clubhouse has our mail. So I was coming back from the clubhouse, and my neighbors next door, there's always tons of people that always go in and out of their house, and so they were going to the pool, and their little boy Jack, and he says, "Oh, what's your dog's name?" Now they never really seen Midnight before because they live on the left side of the street, and I live on the right side of them, and every time we bring Midnight out somewhere, we go through the back porch, which is on the right side of my house. So they never really see Midnight. They only really see Midnight if we're bringing him in the car somewhere, but that's basically about it. But so he came out to the front porch, and he says, "Oh, what's your dog's name?" I said, "It's Midnight." Now this little boy, he's like around maybe my cousin's age, maybe like around 6 or 7, around there. He said, "Oh, Moonlight." He said he thought it was Moonlight. I'm like, "No, it's Midnight." So he says, "Oh, that's such a cute name." And Midnight, I don't know why, but Midnight, he loves to get scared of everyone. I don't know why, but he loves to bark, like, not viciously bark, but he uses his big man voice, and he loves to bark at other people, like the UPS man, for instance. But so he was petting him, and Midnight got scared, and I just sat Midnight in front of my feet. And that's what you do if you have a dog that's very scared of someone that they don't really know. That's what I learned from dog training last summer, is if your dog's very scared of something, put them right in between your legs, because that's what makes the dog more comfort. They think that because you are their owner, and they know that, okay, everything's okay if they're right in between your legs. So I sat him right between my legs, and he was all okay after that. And so he got up, and he just like put his head up like this, and they just petted his head, and he was licking the guy's toes, like the kid's father. He was licking his toes. I'm like, Midnight, stop that, because that's just like really ridiculous, because that's just kind of gross. But that's a little Midnight story for this week. So now let's on to other subsection for the show. As you all may know, I'm sitting in a different area of my room. This is like my bedside. I'm sitting on my bed, if you're wondering. But I did put lights up, and I did put a poster up. Now this poster is from the what year was it? I think it was 1943, 42, when World War II ended. I'm not sure. I'm not really good with history, but because I didn't take history this year in school, I just took I took history last year in school, but I did not take history this year. I'm probably going to take it next year, but that doesn't have to deal with anything here. But I think this is from 1942, something around there. But I always love that poster. It's just really cool. I don't know if you can really see it or not. I don't know, because of the glare from my windows. But yeah, I really like that picture. I was going to get another picture in the mail, right here, but that one didn't came because the people said, "Oh, we were out of stock of it. It's discontinued." Yeah, they said it was discontinued, and I'm like, great. Now what I'm going to get? And it was just a picture of Marilyn Monroe in like a nice, pretty dress. But I'm like, oh darn it. So they said, well, you can't give, and they refunded my money for that poster, and so now I just need to go over to DD's Discounts. And if you don't know what DD's Discounts, it's like a discount department store. And it's almost like a Bells in a way. And there's only a Bells in Bullhead City. That's the only one I know that's not like, well, Bullhead's not close for me. It's like an hour and a half away from me. But it's almost like a discount Bells. So I went over there like last week, and I got tons of new clothing. As you can tell, this is a new shirt. I got new pants. I got new everything. And so they had a lot of Marilyn Monroe pictures over there, and that's like, I didn't know that my poster was discontinued, but like if I did know that last week, I would definitely get another poster. So I'm definitely going to head over there sometime this week or next weekend and see what I can get for that blank spot on my wall, so I can have something else to show you right there, so it's not so plain. So please tell me if you like this background or not. I like it because there's some lights in the back, so there's like a little bit of sparkle. So yeah, so that's it for that part. Also, I'm thinking about starting a fashion channel. Now, I'm not a very fashionable person. I love wearing t-shirts, jeans, high tops, sweater, my hair up sometimes or down. I'm just a very basic, simple person who doesn't like to dress very fancy. So I'm thinking about starting a fashion channel for people who don't really want to be dressy, but they also want to look casual and nice. So I'm thinking about calling it like tomboy fashion or something like that. So if you can give me feedback on that. Okay, so my camera stopped again, and now I'm just restarting. I'm very sorry about that. I don't know what's the matter with my Apple camera here today, but I was talking about how you can send me feedback through YouTube or through Ravelry and seeing what type what type of name I can name my fashion channel. So this basically on there I'm just going to show you just different types of styles you can wear to school, to work, something that's very casual type of stuff, because that's how I dress. So that's basically it for this week's episode. I just want to remind you, everyone, that there isn't going to be a KL this month. I told you guys last week that there is. I explained all the rules, blah blah blah. But we're almost halfway through April here, and how can you start a KL in the middle of April? So there's probably gonna be one in May. I'm very sorry. I don't know. I didn't have the time to write the rules and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very sorry. So there's definitely gonna be one next month. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys next week for episode 33. Please comment, please like, please subscribe, and please contact me if you have any questions and stuff like that. So I'm going to edit this movie really quick so I can go and do other stuff today. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you guys next week. So bye, take care. Okay. Come on, baby. It's already recording. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Nate. Go on. Go up there. Come on. Go on. No. Go on my bed. Jump. 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 Here. Scooch over. Come on. Midnight. Come on. Go on. Come on. Come on. Come on, Midnight. Jump on my bed. How come you always want to jump on it normally? But